And we welcome you into another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show.
Hello.
What's that?
Hello. How are you?
Not too bad.
I'm
Not too shabby.
You are the aforementioned Ironhead.
This is true. This is the aforementioned Goon. And we're watching some Olympics action here at Quaker Steak and Lube on this Thursday afternoon as we continue to get ready for football season, which, yes, is just around the corner. We're 15 days away from high school football getting underway here in Pennsylvania. And another week after that, and we are launched into the college football season. Of course, baseball continuing to chug along, and lots for us to talk about today. Start with the Olympics. Aaron Brooks won his first and quarterfinal match, first round match and quarterfinal match, and then lost to his Bulgarian opponent in the semifinals. Heartbreaking loss for Aaron Brooks. He was up 3-0 at the break, and then in the second period gave up a takedown, and his opponent got a Turk that just about ripped his body in half.
That's the word.
Somehow he fought it off and did not get turned. So it was 3-2. Aaron got in on a low single leg on the ankle with about 15 seconds or so left. And with less than 5 seconds left, his opponent countered and rolled Aaron over, exposing his blades, and thus 2 points for the Bulgarian and a 4-3 victory for the Bulgarian. So Aaron Brooks now will have a chance to wrestle back for bronze tomorrow. Zane Rutherford will begin his quest for an Olympic medal and gold on Saturday. Spencer Lee is into the gold medal finals at 57 kilos. He'll go for the gold tomorrow. And Kyle Dake and Kyle Snyder will start their competition tomorrow. Again, Zane Rutherford and Mason Paris will begin their Olympic experience on Saturday, or at least their Olympic competition on Saturday. Congratulations to the U.S. women's volleyball team. Did you have a chance to watch that one too?
Yeah, I didn't watch it all.
The timing was perfect because that ended about maybe a minute or two before Aaron Brooks took the mat, or at least I guess more than that before he took the mat. But the coverage flowed perfectly into the wrestling. But U.S. women went to the fifth game with Brazil, and they were able to prevail. Of course, both Haley Washington and Micah Hancock are on the U.S. women's volleyball team, former Penn State teammates, and now U.S. teammates, and so they will go for the gold. Now I'm forgetting if that match is tomorrow or Saturday. Thinking it might be Saturday. But congratulations. That was a really hard fought and kind of edge of your seat volleyball for much of the match. It was just really good stuff.
How watching the women and the women are unbelievable, but the speed of the men's volleyball is just out. It's insane.
It is.
And scary.
Yeah, it's different level stuff. No question about that. I don't know. It is fun. So we've been watching a lot of the track and field, more so in the evening. I've checked it out in the afternoon, and I did see Joe Kovacs, another Penn Stater, gets another silver medal, third silver. And the amazing thing there is it's the first time in Olympic history that two athletes went 1, 2, and 3 consecutive games. And Kovacs, his last throw was in the rain, and he needed it. He was not going to medal, but he launched a beauty and ended up with the silver And so congratulations to him. The track and field stuff is fascinating to me because it is obviously the field events in particular. I mean, the power that you have to have obviously is through the roof, but then it is so much about the technique and being able to produce. And Kovacs had his final throw was in the rain. I mean, it was like a hard rain. You're like, oh, I don't know. Like that is not conducive to an ideal.
A little extra chalk on the hand there, buddy.
And it was impressive.
I'm just
very
trying to think
impressive
of like
stuff.
a guy like Kovacs, 3 straight silver medals in the 12 or 11, 12 years of Olympics he's been in. Losing to the same guy, it's almost like he grew up at the exact same time as a phenom, and it stinks because he if that guy wasn't there, Kovacs would be a 3-time Olympic gold champion. Yeah, and it's just amazing that that it happens like that. I mean, you look at Penn State wrestling, you can compare it to that. Like, you have guys that come here and they're like, oh my God, it's a generational talent. And there's like a year later, there's another generational talent right there. The thing with the gold and silver for 3 straight between the same 2 guys is just nuts, man. That's really, really crazy. And good for Kovacs because there's a guy who's just going to sit there and say, you know what? I'm never going to beat him. He's better than me. I'm just going to move on. And he's just as cool going out there and going for it. And again, what he did in that last throw was damn impressive. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever thrown shot put before, but it's unbelievable. And those things they're slippery to begin with. And he's got chalk all over his hands and how he handled that in the rain. And I mean, what if the rain wasn't there? Would he have gotten it? Who knows? But yes, I'm with you. I love watching the Olympics. You get into the all right, let's go at question time. Everything 100, 200, 400, 800. Then they go 1,500 and then 2,500. Why wouldn't they go 1,600? And I had to look it up. Yeah. And it's just some asinine response like, oh, it's just closer to a metric mile. And you're like, so 1,600 is closer. It's 1,609. Why is it? Still didn't explain to me why it's 15. Don't understand why, but it is what it is. But just watching some of these people, they are living their lifelong dream. Guys coming up, Hawker, the guy who ran just came from behind and he's upset everybody the other day. Amazing. It was unbelievable. There's no reason he should have done that. And then he got elbowed by the great British guy to begin with, and then he still takes it. The pole vault, the kid from down in LSU, but he jumps for Sweden. That was an absolute show. Yeah, world record on his final attempt. You have 83,000 people in that arena, and there was not one more event going on, and there was not one person who moved. They all sat there, and he was in no rush. I mean, there's no rush to do what he was doing. Yeah. So he's sitting there. He took his shoes off. He got ready. He got mentally prepared, and not one person left. You had 83,000 people sitting there, just watching every step you make. That's unbelievable. Yeah. So the shot put as we speak in the decathlon. Yeah, there's a bunch of things. Scott Giese and I, we have a local show on the sports radio 98.7 The Fox called Let's Talk. Yep, 8 to 10, returning Monday to the local airwaves. And one of the things that Scott always says, and we've kind of adopted on the show, is it is amazing what causes a controversy and what we allow to seep in is this is controversial, and it's fine as far as it goes. We're all allowed opinions, and largely made my living by expressing opinions, so I'm all in favor of it. But it is, to me, amazing the number of people who will never get anywhere near the Olympic experience as an athlete that want to weigh in on what their opinion is on what an athlete should do, shouldn't do, whatever. I thought it was one of the cooler moments in the games
when the two Simone Biles and Jordan Childs bowed but man, there are people outraged, disgraceful, awful, embarrassing, all of this. Here is my thing, and again, just my opinion. You are certainly welcome to think I'm the one that's ludicrous, but I think in a competition. And, I was thinking about as I watched Aaron Brooks today, as he was walking off the mat, he still had a smile on his face. He was not happy that he lost, and especially, the way he lost. But I think both Biles and Jordan Childs were both very comfortable with who they are and where they're at in life and in their careers and all of that. I understand the not wanting to, and you see this every now and then, right, Goon? Like there will be during a game or during the season, it's like you have guys from opposing teams that are seen together or they're chatting it up and hugging, and it rubs people the wrong way. And to whatever degree, I can understand that to a degree, depending on the circumstances. Once a competition is over, like I just think to like my kiddo loves the Little League and did it. Well, I think we would all agree, once a Little League game is over, like, everybody can go out for ice cream. Everybody can go play on the playground. Like, nobody thinks anything of it, win or lose. Well, once you've laid everything on the line, you've done all you can do, at that point, it's over. The competition is over. I genuinely don't understand why it bothers anybody that an athlete would pay homage to another athlete once the competition is over. Again, it's just I genuinely don't get it. I don't get what and it was kind of a over the top, but it was a fun.
It was fun.
Their point was, man, that was an unbelievable performance. We bow to your greatness, and they didn't do it before. Like, it wasn't. She did her performance, and they still had to go, and they're like, "Oh, we concede. You're the great." It was over. She won the gold. Like, I think you're okay to recognize at that point, just as, you play the Super Bowl, you lose it, and it's, a great pass for 80 yards that's delivered on a dime. I think you're okay going over and saying, dude, you're unbelievable, man. Like, why does that bother anybody that one athlete competing at the highest level after an event is over pays homage to another great athlete? I genuinely don't
best
get
friends or not. I gotta respect the
performance.
The performance was unbelievable, and those girls have been at it together. I mean, how many years in a row now against each other? And the girl from, I believe it was Brazil, who won the medal, she made right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was her turn, and they paid respect to her as probably the world's best. So I do have to get this off my chest, Ironhead.
Yep,
I did watch the Simone Biles thing on Netflix about her, the 2003 or 2000, well, whatever, when she 2021 when she bailed out of the Olympics.
Yep,
about the team competition, and I was mad at the time, and I was like, "How can you do this to your team?" But then again, it could be construed either way. But I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" I don't know if you've watched it or read anything about it, but she was talking about the mental, and not the mental health that everybody was thinking that was like, "Oh, she had too much pressure on her." No, it was she literally had. I think they were calling damn it, I forget the damn word they were using, but she was up in the air and she was losing herself. And she's like, this is not exactly the sport you want to be doing.
Yeah.
Doing flips, crosses, and this and that, and 22 feet in the air off of a vault, not knowing where you're at in the air.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna die. And the fact that she went and did two more jumps was unfreaking believable. Like, and then she faltered and this and that and then dropped out. But the fact that she had the gumption to go out there and just try, knowing that, not knowing what's going to happen, she's going to get lost in the air or whatever, this and that. I could not believe what I was watching. And, and then for her to come back, and another one that blew my mind is that she was the oldest United States Olympian in the history of the games at like 26 or 27.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to think about. But, I mean, I guess that the gymnasts are – she started at 17 in the Olympics. So it is – they start younger and with the women in the Olympics. I guess it's something to do with hormones and growing up faster, I guess, than idiot boys. But it changed me a little bit. But then it just changed me about her. And I think she was just out there having fun. And I think that the pressure that she had been under for those years and those coming back and doing what she did, won the all-around, won whatever. Then she fell off the beam and didn't medal in that. I think she was completely satisfied with her performance at the Olympics. And as an American, I was too. And I have no problem with her congratulating.
Yeah.
This came up during our conversation when we were watching with me and my wife. And I said, I've never had that experience in my life where you have that, holy crap, we are the best. And she's like, well, you won the Rose Bowl. And I was like, yeah, but it was a weird feeling because we didn't feel like we won the national title. And I was talking about it, and I was like, damn, it's true. I remember walking off the field at the Rose Bowl in 95, and I was like, this is awesome. Oh, my God, I can't believe we're undefeated, but this sucks. We're not national champions. And there's no way we knew it.
Yeah.
And that was like, but I can't imagine that feeling that like everything that Simone had done her whole life, not really her. I mean, just say other people who are in that situation because Simone had been through it 9 times as we speak, or she is on television.
Yeah.
But just, I never had that moment. And it's got to be just an unreal feeling like, wow, we're number one type of thing. But I have absolutely no qualms with how they acted with that other girl. I mean, obviously they're friends. It wasn't patronizing. It wasn't disparaging. It was sheer enjoyment for that woman winning the gold medal. And isn't that the crux? Isn't that the whole? The Olympics are about sport and celebrating athletes, and that's what we were doing.
Well, and it really is. So, and I'll be the first to tell you that my perspective on this has changed probably pretty substantially over the years. But I really do think now that for all of these athletes, and really for all of us as human beings, it really is about the journey. Mm-hmm. And you want to have goals so that you're trying to get to a destination with your journey. But you don't, if you are, and it's a fine line, if you are solely focused on the destination, and if you don't get to that destination, then the journey is a failure, then you end up missing out, my opinion here, on what the experience really should be about. And when you talk to most champions, there are exceptions for sure, but most champions will tell you when they look back, the moment is really satisfying. But as the moment fades, what they'll remember is the other moments in the journey that led to getting there. And when you're talking about the Olympics, right, there's only one person or one team in each of these events that wins the gold medal. Well, the gold medal is the ultimate objective, and only one individual or one team gets to win a gold medal every 4 years in any of the sports. So you're talking about one team or one person over a 4-year period. Well, if it is, the gold or bust, and I know there are those that have the mentality, and I appreciate the mentality as far as it goes, but hopefully you in the moment, you can certainly be disappointed, and that's understandable. And especially if you know you're capable of. Like Aaron Brooks, I think, has a great perspective, and I don't think this is going to be devastating to him in any way,
a relationship
shape, or
with
form.
That Bulgarian? Do you think that have they wrestled before at all? Do you know?
I don't think they have.
Okay.
I'm almost positive that was their first meeting.
He's just getting above the under 23, so this is his first big boy competition. So,
correct.
Sorry.
And so, yeah, my I haven't talked to Aaron about this, but my assumption is that he win or lose at these games, was planning to continue to compete at least through 2028. And again, I don't know that. Maybe when he gets back, I'll find out. Nope,
he might get a wrestling job at another major Division I college.
Coaching. He does want to get into coaching at some point, but I think, you know, he certainly is going to have a chance to win some world championships, and if he wants to pursue, will be a formidable force in 2028.
I like the enthusiasm, the congratulation of your opponent and celebrating them. I think that you should understand the journey that they went through because you were on it too.
Yes, and especially at the Olympic Games, where a lot of these, you know, one of the things, and we talked about it going into the Olympics, one of the things that I really do enjoy every time the Olympics comes on, winter or summer, is there's always, and it is amazing that there are as many stories as there are out there, but what these athletes have overcome, whether it's, you know, poverty, injury, other obstacles, all kinds of things that, and it's like, oh my God, it pulls you at your heartstrings. And but then you stop and think about it, and it's like, well, most of the people that you know, whether you know it or not, have experienced loss, have had to overcome injury, have had to overcome some sort of health issue unexpectedly, have gotten into a car accident, have had, you know, either themselves or somebody they know battle substance abuse issues or whatever. Again, the wide variety of issues that face human beings in life. Of course, it's going to face some of the Olympians, but it is inspiring, and it's easy to root for different athletes when you hear the stories. But and again, I thought about it very shortly after Aaron lost, because I really thought Aaron had an excellent chance to win gold. I was looking forward to talking to him when he got back about winning gold and all of that. But I strongly suspect when he gets back, there's going to be disappointment that he didn't win. I don't mean to suggest that he's not going to be disappointed with not winning a gold medal. But I also think he is going to be a guy that is genuinely grateful for the opportunity he had, the experience he had to meet and associate with other athletes, to go out and have the opportunity to compete. I'm sure there are some things now in retrospect he would like to do differently, but in the moment, I mean, he did everything he could to try to win that match and to try to win gold. And if he can come back and win bronze, again, that is not an insignificant feat at this level. And I just hope, one of the things that is, and I think we've talked about this over the years too, one of the things that is always just fascinating to watch. So Simone Biles, the expectation in these games was gold, right? Like, I mean, it's Simone Biles. She's the GOAT. It's gold. So
I believe her watching her, she just wanted to get through it and do it. You know what I mean?
But the expectation was gold. There are other athletes that it's like the objective and the accomplishment is getting to the Olympic Games. Like Simone Biles, if she had not medaled in anything, this would have been a disappointing games for her. It's still remarkable, like, to get to the Olympic Games, however you're doing it, in whatever sport, representing whatever country, it is an accomplishment. It is a feat. But Simone Biles has one set of expectations. Aaron Brooks has another set of expectations. Philadelphia Phillies have expectations. Chicago White Sox have expectations. They're not the same. So you can get the same, like, two different people can have the same result, and you're going to celebrate. And man, can you believe out of nowhere that kid got a silver medal? And over here, oh my God.
Pommel horse guy,
how disappointing is a silver?
He's a star right now.
Yep. And
well, I one question for you.
Yeah.
I think we're all in the same boat when you love guys who come back from hardship and this and that, and then and women, excuse me, so people, athletes. Yeah. As much as I think Spencer Lee is the epitome of Iowa wrestling, the stuff that I don't like about Iowa wrestling, I will be proud and happy as hell if he wins the gold. I truly will be. I mean, I think that what he went through in losing in that quarter or the semifinal in the NCAA his senior year, his mother being made a joke of with how intense she was with shattering her glasses. At the time, it was awesome for a Penn State fan, but as a United States and somebody from Pennsylvania, obviously he is. I'm rooting for him.
Sure.
I mean, he's wearing a USA flag. He's not wearing the Iowa flag right now, but there's a redemption story and a half right there. So I mean, there's a kid. Aaron has literally lived a charmed life as of right now when it comes to wrestling. He hasn't had that hardship that Spencer Lee has had. Multiple ACLs, losing that bad match, but Aaron now he's at that crossroad. Okay, and you know him better than anybody.
Well,
and he's gonna come to that. He's coming to that fork in the road. You know what road he's gonna take, and that's gonna be I'm gonna go to work and make this right.
Yeah. So this is one of the things, and I remember talking to David Taylor about this, and it's just it's just hard to know for sure until somebody experiences it. So, like all of these athletes work hard. I mean, like that is just a given. It's part of the equation. One of the many things that separates like the greatest. Listen, let's start with you have to have some God-given ability. You can have all of the heart, all of the determination, put in all of the work, and if you don't have the God-given ability, you're not getting to the elite level. You can work yourself into being terrific, but make no mistake, like the gold medal winners, there is some God-given talent there. Now, are there people that may have more God-given talent and these guys worked harder? Yes. No question that is part of the equation as well. But you do have to be these type of athletes, some God-given ability. Mm-hmm. You do need to work hard, and you need to learn how to work smart, because I think one of the things, and I think, when watching Penn State wrestling, no question, they work their tails off and they work hard, but they also work smart. Like you could have a guy working 10 hours a day. Well, okay, you're out working the guy that's working 5 hours a day. But if that lasts 5 hours, your body's just drained and you're not getting anything out of it. You're working harder, but you're breaking yourself down in the process. So, it's hard work. It's working smart, but it's also approaching it with a level of humility. And one of the things, so David Taylor, to use him as the example, throughout his elementary and high school life, worked his tail off, won. Worked his tail off, won. Gets to college, works his tail off, wins, works his tail off, gets to the finals, gets pinned. All right, one little setback, no big deal. Comes back, works his tail off, wins, works his tail off, another setback. Loses to Kyle Dake. Then gets through college, a lot more success, and then can't crack into on the U.S. team for a couple of years, makes the decision to go up, dedicates himself to it, and it changes your perspective and appreciation when the hard work and the dedication you've put in doesn't yield the results that you're wanting, right? Like it's just a different perspective, and it, for the great competitors, it drives you then to another level and another degree of, you know what, I thought I was doing all I could, yes. But now, and maybe you were in terms of when you were in the wrestling room, but were you doing everything you could with your sleep schedule? Were you doing everything you could with your diet? Were you doing everything you could with, making sure you were getting the exact right workouts when you needed them, equipment, all of the different things. Working hard, working smart can be two different things, but then also kind of realizing and seeing big picture. And I always think about Tiger Woods, who, when he was at the very top of his game, is like, to stay here, I got to change things up, and reinvented his swing. Well, how many people, when they are, think about it. If you win the gold medal at the Olympic Games, how many of you are then going home and like, yeah, but I want to stay on top for the next 4 years. I need to change up what I just did that got me gold. But the greatest of the great, that is the mentality. Well, is there a better way to do this? Could I do something that can further my career, that could even shave more time off my time, or could give me a little extra power, whatever it may be? And again, that's where you then get to the elite of the elite, and you're talking about the all-timers. Watching Katie Ledecky, and I know nothing about swimming.
Go back to the old-timers, and that is, it's the athlete has to mentally believe that they give it everything. Because if there's any kind of self-doubt that I didn't do this,
well,
and there are other people, your mom and dad, your coaches, are going to say you didn't do everything. But if you think you've done everything, then you're mentally there. But if you're mentally not there,
yeah,
big little hurdle there.
Yep, and that is the other thing that I think, as you go along, that the best of the best, I understand, is, for as great as they are and as much as they know they need help, whether it's from a nutritionist, whether it's from somebody that can train them a little differently and even better, a coach that can get more out of them, a psychologist or a therapist. Like Simone Biles said, her therapist did wonders for her and does wonders for her in terms of just her vision of what she can do, who she can be, and all of that. So, but there's a humility there too, right? Like, to be the greatest, like, it's pretty easy to sit there and, dude, I'm the greatest. And, I think it is not easy to then turn around and say, all right, man, I need help because I want to get even better or be more consistent, whatever the case may be. And, when you watch Katie Ledecky, it is absurd what the separation between her and elite athletes. I make no mistake. Like, it's just because she is making it look easy. And, it's just like when David Taylor was, he made the sport look easy. As anybody who has ever stepped on a wrestling mat can assure you, that sport, I don't care who you are, that is not easy. But Katie Ledecky makes, it's ridiculous. It's like, it looks like she's not even trying. And she's just breezing past everybody. And again, you're talking about the best of the best that she is leaving behind. And so a couple of things that I love about the Olympics is learning about those stories, seeing true greatness, and then seeing others that aren't going to achieve true greatness, but are appreciative of the opportunities they have and are truly getting the most out of their ability or their opportunities. The other things, one of the other things I love about the Olympics is learning about some of the sports that I don't follow and don't watch with any frequency. I was just going to ask you that
because they just ran a tournament final. I won't say who won or anything like that, but before this, they had men's field hockey on. Yeah, my wife looked at me and said, "What the hell is that?"
Yep.
I said, "Yes, men in Europe play field hockey, and actually in Southern America, they also do too."
Yeah.
And she was like, "You're kidding me, right?" I'm like, "No, it's field hockey. We grew up only playing field hockey for women, and at Penn State at the university level, there's no men's over here, but it's insane the game that they could play over there."
Oh yeah. It's vicious.
It actually is. A couple things. I love the stories. I saw the guy who just ran a 200, the guy named the Karate Kid. They call him, his last name is Bednarik. I know there's not many brothers named Bednarik.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously we know Chuck from down in Allentown area, Bethlehem area, obviously Eagles guy. But I was like, you know, how's he have that name? And the guy had went through a bunch of foster care as a youth and this and that. And then he I believe he was in Green Bay and raised by a family out there. And that's the story you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, that's awesome. That's freaking awesome that happened for them. But you're talking about Katie Ledecky. We're talking about Simone Biles, and we're talking about Carl Lewis. So just think about this. So Biles now has 9 medals. Ledecky has 9, all gold medals. I think they tied up or went ahead of Carl Lewis. In a far distance from Michael Phelps, who has 23 gold medals. It's insane. It's crazy to even think about.
Yep.
Like, whoa, dude. 23 gold medals. Like, that's 23 times, like I talked about earlier, when you walked off of a field or this and that, and you said, I'm the best, I'm the greatest. 23 times he could do that. God bless. That's unbelievable.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. Watching these guys sprint around and run, it's just unfreaking believable, man. Did you watch the end of it there? That was the final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk some Penn State football. You are listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on a Thursday.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning Lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are hitting the field all summer long. Enjoy fun, affordable family entertainment as the future of baseball is on display in Happy Valley. Spikes games have something for everyone at the new-look Mettler Field at Leblano Park. From great giveaways to fantastic deals, from special appearances to plenty of fireworks, all the way through September 3rd. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or get the schedule and buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Habaker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Habaker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Habaker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back in here on a Thursday afternoon. Real quickly, Goon, what sport do you think would be, like, track, it would be embarrassing, but I can run 100 meters or I could run 1,500 meters. You give me enough time. Like, it's it's going to be embarrassing compared to them. What sport though do you think would like water polo? We're watching a little bit. I don't know that I could survive a water polo. Like there's some of the sports that again it would be embarrassing and awful, humiliating to be out there and to compete in. But like you could do it, like just awful, be awful at it.
Gymnastics.
But water polo and gymnastics is another one where, my God, I don't know how you get your body to move.
Like I said last week, I said the funniest thing I think is have a normal person go and try to do something.
Any of these,
these people are doing, and it's unbelievable. But I never watched water polo before, and I was watching it again, like I'm saying, with Carrie the other day, and we were just laughing at the girls and the guys or girls in the middle. And like I'm a hockey guy, and those guys they take a lot of body checks and this. And they're literally drowning them.
Yeah, it
like,
is.
How do you not turn around and just punch somebody in the face? The person's literally holding you underwater for 30 seconds.
It's a brutal sport.
Goodness gracious! And how they come out of the water, and it's not like they're jumping off the bottom because that's a 10, 12 foot, 20 foot deep pool, and they're literally coming out of the water. That's how much core strength that they have. That they can jump up and get the firepower behind the shot.
Yeah,
that's just insane, man.
All right,
let's field hockey, but the gymnastics thing I don't think a normal person could do.
No,
that's the one that's just absolutely insane. Like I said about Simone Biles running down somersaulting before she hits the jump thing and then hitting the apparatus and then doing 4 more spins. And, I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, normally I'm not getting down the track. First of all, I'm running into the. Oh my God!
Yeah,
dude, the water polo is now in shootout.
Yeah,
and the guys, the woman was literally 4 feet from the goal. But this is easier than the soccer shootouts.
It in.
This is like the soccer shootouts back in the
bounce
day.
off the water.
Geez. Lord, this is pretty unbelievable how they come out of the water. But I've never played it or anything like that. It's one of my running jokes.
Yeah.
People look at me and say, what athlete were you? I said, well, I was a water polo guy growing up, but I was drowning too many horses.
Poor horses.
That's my go-to from back in the day.
There you go.
So, but yeah, this is a shootout. This is insane. The running thing, but honest to God, I don't know if you've ever done this, but I grew up in a pool in my backyard, and I've done a lot of pool sports like wrestling, running around, this and that, just doing crazy stuff in the pool.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, because I'm so fat, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go try and do some laps at the YMCA. And I just realized, like, I'm seeing this woman swim away. I can't do that. I pretty much survive in the pool. I can stay in the deep end and wade for hours, but I can't. I don't think I could swim. So I started to do it, and I was just like a dog. I was just like slapping the water. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to swim. Like a professional, like a training type of swim. I said, I don't know how to do that. And I would literally spend 23 hours a day in a pool if I could. But to not know how to swim and I guess there is a Instagram thing out right now of like, how fast are these people going? So they had the normal people take off, and then they had the Olympians standing on the diving board at the deck of the pool. And I'm telling you, I think he waited 12 seconds, and then he got in the water and he won the race. It's just insane how just amazing and fast they are. I think that would be pole vault. Come on, man. I mean, everything that has to go into the pole vault is insane.
That is yes, that's another one.
And how do you do it the first time? How do you say, okay, I'm crazy?
I don't know.
I'm going down there. I'm gonna do this.
Yep. That's a good one too.
So they said that the kid Aldo, who won the other night from Sweden, the kid set the Olympic record. He's from LSU, from Louisiana. Mom and Dad, they were both
record too.
They were both pole vaulters.
Yes.
So they're like his kid at the world record at age 11. You're like, it's just in your genes or something. I don't know. It's got to be. How do you do that the first time? Like run down there, and say, oh, this is so awesome. This is great. I guess there's ways to teach it, run through and then stick the pole. And I don't know. Then you got to put it all together. But it's very impressive. And the reason I do love the Olympics is this. It's just the stuff that I'm watching on television. And there we go. We got a shootout for men's field hockey.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, so
the Dutch win,
and with all of this stuff, it is the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and it is, and you see it. I mean, it's again lifelong dreams in many of these cases, but again, in the moment, you're going to obviously be thrilled or bitterly disappointed. The hope is that once you look back on it, win or lose, again, the journey and testing yourself and getting yourself to that level, there's some satisfaction there, even if your ultimate goal was not achieved. That would be the hope anyway. All right, speaking of goals not achieved, Penn State football trying to get to the college football playoffs in the upcoming season. James Franklin had his press conference, what was it, last week? My gosh, the days are all running together. Or was it the beginning of this week? The couple
was it a
things,
press conference or was it media day?
See, well, his press conference was part of media day. Yeah, it kind of kicks off the media day festivities. So to me, offensively, I think this team is set for a big year if, and I do think it's a big if the receivers can produce consistently. I think there's a chance that can happen. I don't think that's a guarantee. Not that anything's a guarantee, but I feel really good about Drew Aller's chances of having a really good season, taking another step from last year where he was really good with the exception of the two biggest games. I think the tight end room, the running back room, and I think the offensive line, by the time they get to the meat of the schedule, is going to be really good. Maybe not dominant, maybe not what last year's O-line was in terms of top end, first round draft ready talent. But I think that unit, if it stays healthy, Goon, by the time they get to that USC, Wisconsin, Ohio State stretch, is going to be more than good enough. My question is, can the receivers make the routine plays routinely, and can they give you that extra dynamic of, man, look out, you don't make that tackle, they're gone. You don't make that initial stop, you're in trouble. I don't know. Like, I think they have some guys that are capable of that. Whether or not they get to that point and produce like that, to me, is the biggest question offensively. And then defensively, Goon, to me, it's just about how they adapt to Tom Allen's system. I think the talent is there, and I like the scheme that they have in place, and I trust Tom Allen as well. Again, it's going to be different than Manny Diaz's defense, but Tom Allen is a really good defensive coach. So I think that side of the ball is going to be fine. I just think they need to be able to get a little bit of luck, including on the health front, and get consistent play from the receiving core. And I think everything else is set up. I know we talked about it last week, Goon, but I really think, talking to a couple of other people now about, it just seems so many times we sit back, or even going into the season, it's like, yeah, I think Penn State can do it, but man, they're going to have to overcome this or that. This year, West Virginia, man, a night game on the road, that's going to be tough. Oh, wait, it's not a night game. Well, that's a break. I mean, it is. That is a break. Man, they just can't get over the hump with Ohio State and Michigan. Oh, Michigan's off the schedule. Yeah, but you got Oregon coming in. Nope, Oregon's not on the schedule. Oh, but Ohio State, man, in Columbus is almost a what? Nope, Ohio State's at home. Like, I know not everything is, but boy, there's a lot of stuff set up in their favor going into the season that it feels like hasn't always been the case for Penn State since it joined the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, offensively, there is 3 starters you get replaced right now. 3 NFL guys. I mean, we can sit there and say that the room is finally full, which has been an issue for the last 20, 25 years here, and that has been an offensive line and offensive line depth. I think we have it, but it's not there yet. We don't know.
Yeah,
and
that's
for
fair.
People to just sit there and say like, "Oh, we're going to be good up front." That could be the truth. It could be.
I have faith. I hear you, and I agree. It's not a given. However, going back to my point that I just made, the schedule sets up nicely for that group to have time. Like, they don't have to be. I mean, it'd be great if they come out of the gate and dominate against West Virginia. That West Virginia defense is not one of the great defenses that Penn State's going to face in college football in the upcoming season. So, and then obviously you have a stretch after that where they are going to have some time to gel and gain confidence with what they need to do in Kotelnicki's system, which to me, Goon, that's another part of this is I don't think this offensive line is going to be asked to do as much as last year's was. And that isn't to say that they, have an easy task. It's just, I think it is going to be a lot of get in front of your guy, create the seam, and let's go.
Yeah, I mean, we have the horses at running back. We just need to let them out.
Yes, get them some space.
We need space. And you're not going to get space until our wide receivers stretch the field. That's just football 101 right there.
Yeah.
You can sit there and try to put the square peg through the round hole all we want, try to run an 8-man defense. And if we're not running on a 7-man defense, we're in trouble. We have these 2 great running backs right now. We need to use them. We are going to use them. I think that the underappreciated thing with this whole offseason was Kotelnicki coming in here. And thank you for explaining his name to me. So now I remember Kotelnicki. I'm super, super, super excited to see what he can do.
I am
because
too.
I think that Aller is a star in waiting, and I think that he played so timid last year in the 2 losses.
Yep.
He played not to lose instead of playing to win. And if they can get in his head, Kotelnicki can get into his head that hey, we played to win. Just get out there and do it. Trust your O-line, trust your tight ends, trust your receivers. Let's go. It might be I'm telling you, it might be. I know people are like, oh, he could be on the Heisman. He could be on the Heisman watch.
Yeah,
I mean, he is that talented.
I agree.
And then if he gets over those, whatever he was going through last year, I just thought that he felt he had too much pressure on him. First of all, a first-year starting sophomore quarterback, to put that much pressure on him, and I believe it was Jawan Sider who said the other day, asking him to throw 42 times against an Ohio State defense as a true or a sophomore in college at Ohio State, you're asking a whole bunch.
And not make a mistake. Like the big thing was, you can't make a mistake.
Yep.
Can't make a mistake. Well,
and again, that's Sider talking about, he has these horses. You got to let him run, but we got to get him open. We got to get him at that field to do it.
And listen, there's always going to be a fine line here, but I do think you can go too far in the don't make a mistake.
Play tight. Yeah.
Right? Like, yes, don't make a mistake, but go play.
Yeah.
Go have fun.
The don't make a mistake, Joe Paterno, Chuck Noll stuff, tough defense, great special teams, don't turn the ball over on offense. No, you still got to be explosive on offense.
Well,
you can't just trust your defense or special teams to go out and win titles. You still have to be explosive on the offensive side.
And listen, I understand the importance of winning the turnover battle, but a couple of things. If your offense is really good, it's just like a wrestler giving up a takedown. Like, you're not going out there trying to give up a takedown. You don't want to give up a takedown, but you can't be so afraid of giving up a takedown that you don't go for a takedown. Right?
Yep.
Like there has to be an aggressive mentality. And if you are aggressive occasionally with anything, you are going to make mistakes. Like, that is just, it is impossible to be aggressive and never make a mistake. It's impossible to never make a mistake, period. But especially if you're aggressive. So I understand what they were trying to do with him last year. And drill in. We don't want you to make the turnover, but it felt like it got to a point where that was more important than let's try to make a play. Like, again, you don't want to throw interception. I get it. I'm not saying that don't be careless with the ball for sure, but it is okay to occasionally throw a ball that you're like, oh, I'm not positive that's not going to be intercepted. It is okay to occasionally ask your receiver to go make a play, take it away from the defender, make things happen. Now, time, context, all of that comes into play.
Correct.
But it felt like they went too far in that direction with Aller last year. You've got to trust that he can play.
I don't know if that was a Penn State thing or is that the way he was taught as a young guy in high school?
It felt like it was fair, but it felt like it was a Penn State thing because there was a lot of talk in the preseason about the lack of interceptions. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be heralding that,
lack of
but it's just not
passes in general.
Well, and then that became it felt like they were so afraid of a mistake being made.
Mm-hmm. But they made mistakes.
And I think that if you are a good offense and if you are confident, a turnover or two, okay, man, bummer, boom, next time out, right down the field. I just think again, it's a fine line. I'm not saying you go out there and you play careless and don't worry about making mistakes, but I do think you can go, and they did go too far on that other end of the spectrum last year. Now, do I think that could benefit Aller this year where it's like, okay, I know how careful I have to be, but now I'm another year experience. I know the
We're
throws
not
I
looking
can
for
make.
Brett Favre out here running around, running and gunning.
But I will say that for that to work the way it needs to, Aller has to have confidence that receiving core is going to consistently make the plays that it should make. And that did not happen last year. And that in order for this team to be 10-2, 11-1 or better, that has to happen. Those guys, it has to be few and far between where the ball is dropped. And it has to be not infrequent where big plays come off of, guaranteed smaller gains, or what should be guaranteed smaller gains.
Game of
I love his game
around everywhere. It's like, how do I get my best players the ball in space? It just seems like we've never done that.
And if Trey Wallace stays healthy, and if Caden Saunders can take another step, and they get Singleton into space, and they use Previola the way they did toward the end of last year, and the way I thought they were going to, and I think should have all year long. I think the opportunity to just have defenses flummoxed and at a loss for what to expect from one play to the next, and just when you think you're getting this offense figured out, whoops, there they go the other way, or they throw in another wrinkle. And I have a lot of faith in Kotelnicki, and I think if they can just get consistent, good production, and then occasionally the great play by the receiving core, that they are going to be a really dynamic and fun offense to watch.
I am trying to pen myself a little bit, because you and I have been very bullish, is the word we've used for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I am bullish about this team because I think this team can be special, but I am like a lot of Penn State right now, and that is, I need to see it.
Yep.
I need to see it. But you got me. I'm there. I'm going to be there. You know me. I know you. We're always going to be there. But it's like I just want to get over that hump, where we are feared on game day, and we're not going out to Ohio State and Michigan, losing our biggest games of the year. Michigan. This year would be Ohio State, Oregon. Wisconsin, the scary game. I like West Virginia early because it's like that is a scary game, but in reality, it's not really a scary game.
Yes, it's a good test,
it's a great test
but it is yes, it is a test that you should pass.
And
it
I
is set
think
up
that
for
James has historically been very, very good opening.
He
very
has.
good.
And opening on the road.
Yeah.
He's been very good.
Of course. Well,
has to be.
On the road in the Big Ten. This year, not so close, but is what it is. But I am bullish on this team. I really do like this team. I like this staff that has been assembled. There is some issues right now, and I got to say this. I at first yesterday at his press conference when James said he didn't want to talk about the two guys who got let go.
Yep.
And it's pretty well known out there. It's what had happened and stuff like that. But he says, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's last we're talking about those two guys and this and that. And some people are like, that's bull. You can't have the good with the bad. You got to be able to talk about that. But then I thought about it, and somebody said, dude, that's an ongoing investigation. You can't talk about it. So
correct.
I'm not so upset about that.
No.
But him, I do see, I think that James has really played like he's not really been the James of old recently. I think that he's tempered a little bit of the enthusiasm, being out in the public, crazy, this and that. I do think he's a little bit tempered a bit this year. I think that's a good thing because I think that he's more worried about this like let the other guys, and it's their time, and I think that this team is ready to go, and I think that he realizes that, and he's just going to sit back and watch.
Yes. So one of the things that I think has occurred, and it's not intuitive, and it feels like it doesn't make sense. But I actually think this team, at this stage of the season, is a few weeks away from kickoff in the season opener. I really think there is, and let me preface this by saying that I am positive. I said the same thing a year ago and believed it a year ago. But even with two new coordinators, I think there is a better understanding throughout the program, from James Franklin to the coordinators to all of the coaches and through all of the players, starters to the guys that are first-year freshmen that are expecting to redshirt. I think everybody understands what they're trying to do, what the systems are and why they're running the systems they are, and how they can capitalize on the opportunities that those systems will bring in. You would think, and I'm sure at this time a year ago, I was sitting here saying the exact same thing, in that, man, this is going to be great because we have the same coordinators back and everybody now knows the system and all of that. I just think there was such detail because of the two new coordinators ahead of spring practice. And, it's one thing for James Franklin to say, yep, man, I really think we did a good job of getting everything buttoned down so that we know we're all pulling in the same direction and know what we're trying to do. But you heard it from Franklin, you heard it from the coaches, and most importantly to me, you heard it from all of the players. They all are saying, no, we know what it is we need to do, what we're being asked to do. We have confidence, whether it's offense or defense, in the schemes we're running. We understand why we're doing the things we're doing and what that's going to allow us to set up, the whole bit. And I think that is a big, big deal, where, and especially when you have, so there's some things, even with two new coordinators, that I think are really working in Penn State's favor. One is Aller, and not just his skill set, but the fact that he had the experiences he did a year ago, both good and bad. So I think he brings a lot of confidence, but also a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and knowing, and a little bit of humility. Like he knows, like he's not coming in here saying, man, I'm the man. Like he knows what happened in the Michigan and Ohio State games and where this program didn't measure up and what his role in that was. He's well aware. And so, but I think having all of that under his belt is at that position in particular is a huge help to this year's team. One of the other things that I think, and again, I was saying the same thing last year, but I think Bo Pribula is going to be a big part of what Penn State does. And I don't mean a big part in that, man, look out, he's going to be out there for 30 of the plays a game. I don't know how many plays a game. It might be 3, it might be 10, it might be somewhere in between. But when we talk about what this offense can do and the diversity of options that Andy Kotelnicki's offense provides, everything we said about Aller stands, but also Pribula, you put Pribula out there in the right situations, short yardage situations, where you have Katron Allen and or Nicholas Singleton, and maybe you're bringing a Caden Saunders in motion, and now, okay, well, yeah, we know we have to stop Singleton. Well, and Allen and Saunders and Pribula. Well, what? I mean, there's a limit here. So, again, I don't think Pribula. I think he will be added to the mix of what they do consistently on offense, and I thought that would happen last year, and it didn't. I don't understand why it didn't, and when it did at the end of the year, Goon, we saw why I think it should have been part of the offense all year long. Yeah. And again, I don't think no quarterback controversy, not saying he needs to be out there for any set amount of plays, but I think short yardage or, spots here and there, a package against a particular defense, man, that is just another big option and something else that opposing defensive coordinators are going to have to concern themselves with going into the season. And I think it's big. I think it's big for what this offense is going to be able to do.
And we talked about the guys on the end and at tight end earlier. I mean, they're the forgotten guys, but I think Warren would have been a higher draft pick this past year. He comes back. He's only going to improve his draft stock. I mean, it is a loaded tight end room.
Yeah.
And again, the quarterback's friend is a great run game. But if our offense, if you can get our 2 stud running backs on the field at the same time, just imagine. And then if you have any kind of wide receiver,
that's going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen with great frequency, but maybe it does.
Base offense, but it'll be out there.
Yes, Kotelnicki is going to, just give defenses a whole lot to think about. And when you look at what he did with Kansas, it is all about
Kansas.
It's a great vision of what you're not running a play and then seeing what you should do next. You're running a play with the idea that we're going to see how the defense reacts.
Set something up.
And depending on how they react, this is how we're going to come back later in the game. It's all. And it just felt like that was not the case last year. It felt more like, well, let's see if this works. That didn't seem to work. Let's see if this works. My expectation is that this year, virtually everything that is done, especially in that first quarter of the game, is with an eye toward, okay, this is how we're going to get them later in the game.
So here I am, Jeff, right now. And this might be a little off kilter when in regards to James, and that is that this is what his 5th, possibly 60th offensive coordinator since he's been in town. I mean, there's been a bevy. We're getting to the point now where it's like, are we meddling too much from the head coach's position on the offensive side of the ball? Because defensively, I mean, I can always say this: Joe was a defensive guy. He let the defensive coaches do what they had to do over on that side of the ball. He was watching the offense, but he would have his eyes on the defense. But a head coach is more involved in the offense, I think. And James is an offensive guy, so it's only natural that he would be a little more inclined to watch the offensive side of the ball. And, that could be a gripe of fans, and I have actually thought that in the past. Like, how many times are we going to go through offensive coordinators before we stop saying, okay, well, somebody's meddling with our offense? I mean, it's not a very derogatory thing towards James. I mean, it's perfectly natural that happens. But I will be interested to see if Kotelnicki just stalls and it's nothing really fluid. There's nothing really dynamic about this offense. That I will have to start having questions about what's going on during game week in preparation.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what I mean?
I think that's fair.
But I think that we've gone out there and spent a hell of a lot of money getting Kotelnicki to come here. He was not cheap. He was not coming because he loved Penn State. He came because he got a big-ass paycheck.
Yeah.
Let's not kid ourselves. So with a big paycheck, you got big expectations now. So I am very interested to see how this offense does flow this year. If there is the stagnant and the, I'm not going to say just boring type of thing. I want to see a dynamic offense where we are getting our guys the ball in open spaces. That is what Kotelnicki was pretty much doing at Kansas. Again, I said Kansas.
Great opportunities.
I did not want to be derogatory towards Kansas, but it's pretty much like saying Penn State basketball in the Sweet 16. It's an anomaly. It had happened 1 or 2 times, 3 or 4 times. Who knows? Kansas football is Penn State basketball. So doing what he did the last few years down there is unbelievably impressive. I want to see him do this on the big stage we are in right now in the Big Ten. I'm actually pretty excited because coming from Kansas, he has the background against West Virginia. He's gutted West Virginia. He's gutted all these teams in the Big 12, so per se. So an opening game for him should be his little coming out party and get the guys, get the little confidence going a little bit sky high, knowing what West Virginia does defensively. He should go out there and tear this team up. But again, I don't want to be derogatory. I don't want to point fingers and this and that. But yes, our offense has been very stagnant for, I'm not going to say the James era. I mean, for a long time. Historically, we've not been a great offense. We know this, but we've had a lot of players come through here and that go on to do some pretty important things, big things in the NFL that really didn't flourish here. And you just have to wonder, is there meddling going on from the head coach and from on the offensive side of the ball? Or does James say, you know what, Kotelnicki, you came in here, we're paying you big money, make me look good. Here we go.
Yep.
Make me look good. I'll be. I know we go back to what the stuff that Pat Kraft has to go through and this and that, the changing dynamic of all these sports and this and that. Just imagine James's job. How he has changed. He's been here since 2014.
Yeah.
So this is now year 10. So he came here with the sanctions, horrible sanctions, gets them dropped and this and that. But it didn't matter the sanctions dropped because the damage was done. You had a good 2 or 3 year window where you had nothing. So you had to rebuild from the start type of thing. And then, he's gotten through. He's done very well. And, I think this is the year that everything comes together for him, to be honest with you. And I think that he feels that too. I don't see him out there on the Big Ten Network. I don't see him out there on the ESPN doing these different shows, trying to sell the team. I think he's just committed to this team and to these guys right now and to this season. I really, really do feel that.
Yep.
And it's going to be a very interesting first couple games because we've talked about the schedule. Those first 4 games, coming out of the chute right there, you're 4-5-0, boom. You got a lot of momentum going in there and going in October type of that gauntlet that's in October, November. So it's pretty much broken down like we've always broken down the season. I think the season is 3 seasons. It's the first 4 or 5 games, and then the USC, Wisconsin, Ohio State, UCLA, Wisconsin. Like that's 5 pretty bangers right in a row right there. I know there's a couple bye weeks and this and that, but if you go to momentum right there after those first 4 games, you have those next 5 real tough ones, and then you end the season up with there's really not much out there coming at you in the after that. Oh, and Washington, I think, is really going to be down this year too. So you can go 4-4-4 in essence with the 12 games and have a 3 game season. You got to go. We can get that I think I watched the Big Ten Network. Was it last night or 2 nights ago that they had they were 2 nights ago, and they were talking like 6 of the last 8 years James would have been in the playoffs. It's like we're just sitting there, and it's just like, damn it, why can't they just why wasn't this done before? It just makes you so upset that we've waited how long for this to happen. I mean, I did an interview for the '94 team with Frank Bonanni the other day down in York, and we were just talking, and I'm like, yeah, we're talking, this is 30 years ago we're talking, and we are now literally getting into a 12-team playoff 30 years later. I mean, I know we've had this bowl championship series, but it's always like, as Booch would say, we've been the canary in the coal mine way too many times.
Yeah,
with Joe in the review, the bowl championship series, getting out of the locked in the bowls and stuff like that. We seem to have been on the butt end of a lot of that stuff that make the rule changes. But interesting season. Can't wait for the freaking season. As you know, I mean, you know how it is. It's just an exciting time around here. The summertime is great and all this, but it's still football time coming.
Yep, I do. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll talk some Steelers, Eagles, Pirates, and Phillies.
Get out of here.
As we continue. It is our Thursday edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning Lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are hitting the field all summer long. Enjoy fun, affordable family entertainment as the future of baseball is on display in Happy Valley. Spike teams have something for everyone at the new-look Medler Field at Leblano Park. From great giveaways to fantastic deals, from special appearances to plenty of fireworks, all the way through September 3rd. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or get the schedule and buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen O'Haw-Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen O'Haw-Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen O'Haw-Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
And we welcome you back here on this Thursday afternoon. The Steelers and Eagles in training camp getting ready for preseason action. And then, of course, we are right into the season. And we'll see. It's interesting with the Steelers, Goon, to me, are are really hard to know what to expect right now in the upcoming season. You're not sure who your starting quarterback is. Russell Wilson is going to be out for the opener here, which obviously opens the door for Justin Fields to come in and produce. And even though Wilson is listed as the starter right now, it feels like a tenuous hold that he has on that role. And
your honest opinion.
Yeah.
Fields beats him out. Do they keep him?
Do they keep Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that is a good question.
I don't think they do.
See, I think they do for this year,
Really?
in part because I'm not sure, one, how much confidence there is that Fields, even if he wins it, like, I don't know that there's a great deal of confidence. Okay, guaranteed, that's our guy moving forward.
But I don't see Tomlin flip-flopping week to week, month to month.
I don't think it'll be week to week,
like,
but I think if Fields goes out there, so this is the other thing. I feel like everything else, and especially if this Ayuk deal does get done,
like for 2 weeks now.
It feels like that. The offense is set up. I think they've got the O-line pretty well figured out, better than they have the last few years anyway.
I can agree with that.
I think everything else is in place. I think the running back situation, the tight ends, and even without Ayuk, but especially if Ayuk is part of that mix.
That's my next question.
I think that receiving core is really good. And then it is, can you get consistent enough play from quarterback to be a playoff team in arguably still the toughest division and certainly the tougher conference right now in the NFL. And I don't know. I mean, I've seen some projections that have the Ravens in the Super Bowl, seen some projections that have the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So, and the Browns, are obviously going to be a very good team anyway, whether or not they actually ever live up to the hype that seems to surround them or not. And I don't know. I have friends who are like, no, I think you got to. Russell Wilson is the answer, and he's going to be great this year. I think Justin Fields gives them the better chance to win consistently myself, but I don't know where Justin Fields is with his confidence.
Okay.
And I'm a big believer that confidence is 80% of the equation. And I don't know if that confidence that was shaken in Chicago, I don't know if it was shaken because he realized, my gosh, I don't know that I'm quite the quarterback that can be a top 12 quarterback in the NFL, or if it was shaken because, my God, I'm in an organization and on a team that can't figure things out. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have, if he is the guy, well, whoever it is, again, I think the offense is there for a quarterback to work with. I just don't know where the heads of either of those guys really are at this stage.
My question was going to be, I don't like either one of those guys as the backup. I just don't think that they have the backup quarterback mentality.
Yeah.
And I truly don't. Now I think that Wilson is. I can't believe how soured I have become on Russell in the last 5 to 10 years.
And I don't know.
It's like the proof's in the pudding with his players and his teammates talk about it, and it's just like they're irked by him.
So let me ask you this, because I don't think the Steelers are going to cut Wilson just to I think they're going to want to move him. I just don't know that is he a movable commodity? Like,
I don't know.
As a starter, as you said, I'm with you.
Win the Steelers job, but then why would anybody want him?
Right, and that's what I'm. So if he loses the starting job to Fields, what team is it out there where they're like, all right, that is a clear upgrade, and that's the guy we need as our starter moving forward? And I don't know.
I have one team in mind.
Yeah.
And that would be the Giants are just lacking at quarterback so bad.
But they are
I think that they would try to get rid of
Joseph is saying, but he is saying all of the right things. And I don't like outside looking in. I don't know that I would feel confident that Wilson is going to go in there and be better than Jones. Do you, like at this stage? I think the locker room, it feels like Jones has, at least with his personality, I think the locker room is pulling for him. Whether or not they believe in him, I don't know. But I think they want him to do well because I think he's doing everything. I don't know that Wilson coming in, like I don't know that locker room would say, all right, now we have our quarterback. Wilson's here. Yeah, glad we're getting rid of Jones. Like, it doesn't feel like that. I hear what you're saying, and I'm not saying
same amount of money, probably.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they need to jettison. I think that if Jones doesn't win that job in New York and play well, I think they literally are going to get rid of him before the season. But I don't think they have anybody right now who can take the job. And I still think the team's a little pissed because I think that they say, we lost Saquon because we gave Jones all this money. I looking at it as an Eagles fan and hearing, and I haven't watched the Hard Knocks thing, so I have to say this. Either. I do not watch the Hard Knocks until I can binge it because I just don't. I don't like waiting week to week. But I don't know. It's been fun to watch. I mean, fun to the whole Giants scenario and that, and then seeing on Instagram and on Twitter. Some of the highlights of the Hard Knocks, and I think that team is split because of how they lost Barkley, and I think Saquon was the heartbeat of that team, but they paid Jones thinking that Saquon would take the company discount, and it didn't happen.
That's right.
And they lost. They're going to lose both because I don't think Jones is worth the money that they're going to pay him. But as a stopgap, they could bring in Russell Wilson. But then,
I think they're all in on Jones for this year.
Do you think that if they knew they were going to be able to get would they have picked Wilson up if they weren't going to get if they knew that they were going to get I can't forget
Fields?
Yeah. I don't think they purposely went out and got both. I think they both fell into their and it was like, oh well, we're already done. We may as well do this. Because I just don't.
Yeah, it is.
Personality-wise, I don't see them meshing and those two meshing at all in a room. One. Two is I don't see and then you're going to bring Brandon Ayuk in, and I don't know if it's true or not. Is he literally saying he wants $30 million a year?
That is, I mean, that's
his demand.
Stuff
the internet. You can't believe 92% of what you're reading.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's sitting there thinking he's a $30 million man. That is unbelievable, and you're not even the one on your team.
Correct.
Actually, why would Pittsburgh want a guy like that when they literally how many times have they got rid of guys like that?
That's a fair question.
Jeez,
fair point. Although I will say having him and Pickens out there is
unbelievable. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, there's appeal there, but no, I hear what you're saying. The Steelers are doing some un-Steelers-like things, I will say, with Omar Khan, and I like it. This is not a move that the Steelers typically would make. But I think they are feeling. I think they are feeling the pressure. The organization. I think they know the division they're in, the whole bit, and that the one thing that the Steelers have, unlike the Pirates, is there is a strong desire to win and win big in that Steelers front office and right on down. the Pirates in the locker room, they want to win big. I'm just not convinced that
We're third
ownership
generation
group
Rooney
is.
now.
Yes.
And the first two are both deceased.
Yes.
Has the third generation won a title?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
With yeah. And listen, I think the Steelers organization is, I think they are willing to pivot to what they need to do to be competitive in this era, in this world of the NFL. Whereas, again, I think the Pirates are willing to get to the brink, try to improve, but I don't think they're going all in and pushing their chips in to win. Pirates, by the way, as we're watching this, now down 7-5. They had they trailed 4-0, came back, took a 5-4 lead, and then brought David Bednar out for the ninth, and well, it's now a 7-5 lead for the Padres as we begin the bottom of the ninth, with the Buccos now needing a couple of runs to extend the game or a 3 spot to win it. Padres looking to sweep this series in Pittsburgh. And just when you thought the Pirates might be getting a little momentum, I will say that the defensive mistakes are, I mean, the number of games that the Pirates are giving away, and that would include today. I mean, I love O'Neal Cruz, but my God, that
was a horrible throw. The
errors that he is making here in the last couple of weeks that have been consequential, it's really tough.
So did you see I got to say, the Jay Glazer Instagram message from 2 nights ago? They were in a bar in Latrobe. Jay Glazer from Fox Sports was with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Well, I believe it looks like to be Mike Tomlin's son or friend or whatever. And then some other guys that were there at the table with. And then Brett Michaels is there.
Okay.
Poison lead singer.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin and Jay Glazer weren't even existing because Brett Michaels was there.
There you go.
In a Steelers bar in Latrobe, drinking beers. They could not have been. They weren't even looked at, talked about it. Everybody there was all over Brett Michaels, and I just have to laugh. And Glazer actually made a joke about how funny that was. And it's like, I'm sitting here with Mike Tomlin in a bar in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and everybody is lined up and surrounding Brett Michaels, and Mike Tomlin sitting there drinking a beer with me. And I find that absolutely amazing.
Awesome. That is hilarious. All right, O'Neal, try to make up for this. So the Pirates are, I guess, still in the wild card race to some degree, but it feels like that's starting to slip away. Phillies are trying to let everybody.
No one's taking the keys.
Come back to the toward the top, but
take 2 out of 3 versus the Dodgers last 2 nights. So I will take that. They needed that, and I told you before on the air. I say that there was an incident in the game where Castellanos got hit pretty high up and in, and he wasn't happy about it. And Strom came in and took care of business and put one up and in on a Dodger player, and there was cooler heads prevailed, but there should have been let's just say if there's a playoff series between these two teams, there's a little bit of bad blood started right there last night. And that's the type of stuff that your team builds around.
Yeah.
And I know that the Phillies are doing well, and they've done well the last couple of years, so you're not building a team with them, but this is the stuff that brings those guys together. Like, hey, you want to throw one of my guys, we're going to take one of your guys down too. So it's like one of those things you could point to, maybe, hopefully, when the Phils win the World Series, that you can look back on and say that was the night of change, and everybody bought in completely. Not that they haven't, but Schwarber.
No, I hear what you're saying.
2 games in a row, first batter up, solo dinger right up the bat. Boom, boom. First 2 games. He had 3 dingers last night. No, don't get thrown out. Don't get thrown out. Oh, no, he got –
Oh, boy.
We're going to review that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to stretch a
Joey Bart.
Trying to stretch a single into a double, and we don't know.
He got in there safely, but then he overslid the bag, and I don't know if the tag though came back until he got back to the bag. He dropped the ball.
Oh, the ball. You might need that. I don't know what level of baseball you have, but you need the ball to make that play right there. So
that's my understanding. So
why go for two there when your run means nothing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand the hustle and stuff like that, but that guy should be tough one, man. Tough one. Well, we still got another bat, though.
Yeah. 2 outs.
So I'm watching the USA
Down
basketball play in Serbia right now in the semifinal right now. In the hoops. Serbia's doing pretty damn good right now.
Yeah, I have not watched much of the basketball at all. I've seen
honestly,
little
I
bits
talk to
here
me
and
here.
there, but
Dude, I would rather have collegiate guys.
I would too, but that's never
just
happening again.
Yes, they're amazing. They're great basketball players, but they're not a great team. You know what I mean? But I guess if it's a college team going out there and these guys play the same type of basketball, then it really wouldn't matter. I mean, all the talent in the world, but you got to play as a team. And if they lose this game to Serbia, my Lord, dude.
They won't lose. They'll end up pulling away.
Oh,
I'll bet you. Second half, they end up.
Every bookie's phone in the country just opened up. Ironhead made a prediction. It's over.
They end up winning comfortably.
Serbia,
double digits.
With a monster upslate of the United States, according to Jeff Byers. Uh-oh. There's one. I got one back, Headley. Come on, Bob. You're a Mets fan. You can't be cheering the Buccos. This is one of the good points of being a Quaker Stick and Lube local person, as you know, most of the people at the bar. So, but they are a fun team to watch. I mean, they're not better than the Mets to watch.
Been. Just the last few days, last couple of weeks haven't been
when you're
fun.
302 pounds, your name's Rowdy Taylor. Rowdy?
Tellez, yeah.
I'm rooting for you.
Yeah.
That's just me, though. What, they're pinch running for the big man?
They are.
Jeff, come on. They don't want to win this game.
Got to run across.
He doesn't want to win this game.
Run across.
Yeah, man.
They got swept in this series going. Like, that is.
Well, the Padres are damn good. I mean, I think
they're
in the wild card, right?
The momentum you're trying to build. Like, this is not good. And they're losing games. Like, they're giving. They will have given 2 of these 3 away, in essence. If they lose it, maybe they'll come back here and pull this out.
Big if.
We can hope.
Big old if,
we'll take a break here. We are back with one final segment of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on a Thursday afternoon in the Valley of Happiness.
Coast into fall with a new Kia from Lion Country Kia. Right now, get a 24 Kia Seltos for 5.25% APR for up to 48 months. A new Sportage plug-in hybrid at 0.9% APR. Check out our 23 Sorrento hybrid for as low as 4.5% APR. And don't forget, all 2023 and 2024 Kias come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Stop in and meet with one of our sales experts today and coast into fall at Lion Country Kia. We want to see you in a Kia.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
The Center Hall Farm Store has been serving Center County and beyond for well over a half century. A small family business, the Center Hall Farm Store specializes in animal nutrition and manufactures its feed fresh using local ingredients. Get the best in horse, cow, pig, chicken, and bird feeds. If you're not already a customer, stop in and see why so many of your neighbors are. The Center Hall Farm Store at 110 West Allison Street in Center Hall, or call us at 814-364-1393.
The State College Spikes are hitting the field all summer long. Enjoy fun, affordable family entertainment as the future of baseball is on display in Happy Valley. Spikes games have something for everyone at the new-look Medler Field at LeBron Park. From great giveaways to fantastic deals, from special appearances to plenty of fireworks, all the way through September 3rd. For tickets, call 814-272-1711 or get the schedule and buy and download at statecollegespikes.com.
Ready to be part of something bigger? Come pave the road to success at Glen Baker and discover a career where your hard work and determination can build a bigger, better future. Our team believes we can build a stronger future together. Join us at Glen Baker, where we value teamwork on the field and on the job. Go to GOHcareers.com to apply. GOHcareers.com. And best of luck to all the Center County sports teams all season long from everyone at Glen Baker.
With a Timber Kids savings account, you can start to save money, earn prizes, and teach your kids the value of savings. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Building futures is what we do at TFCU.
You really need to belong to a credit union. You belong at TFCU, Timberland Federal Credit Union, a credit union you can grow with.
The Goon and Ironhead.
Oh, those guys. It is a Thursday afternoon edition. We are at Quaker Steak and Lube in State College, the place to come on down and watch all of this Olympics action, Major League Baseball action, and very soon, football will be on all of the TVs, the numerous TVs that are here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Great service, great food, and some tasty beverages to enjoy here at Quaker Steak and Lube. Our home away from home on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons from 2 to 4, and we do appreciate the hospitality and all of the aforementioned great things that Quaker Steak and Lube offers. We'll be back on the air next week on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox, and looking forward to that return after a very long 5-week hiatus. But it
only felt like 10.
Even may have felt a little longer than that to some of us even. So I think we have everything lined up now, though, and looking forward to it.
As long as it's done right. That's the only thing you worry. You want it done right.
Yeah, but I think
right.
we've finally got some things figured out, and I think we're in good position.
So I got the head shake last week.
Yeah.
It was the drop-down head shake from Carrie. When I said, "Oh, my God, Carrie, look at this," on Twitter. And it said, today starts every weekend till Valentine's Day that there will be football.
Oh, yeah. The way it's supposed to be.
And I'm telling you, Head, I need these non-Power 5 football teams to start the spring football league. Well, we got to watch some college football in the spring because it's an open market. It is open, and it would satisfy a lot of people, and it would make money.
We are quickly transitioning to football season in Pittsburgh. The Padres do win it 7-6 and complete the 3-game sweep of the Buccos at PNC Park, and so just brutal. 9 runs scored in the 9th inning or later in the 3-game series by the Padres. 9 runs scored in the 9th inning or later.
You know what you're going to do?
Pirates lose 2 of the games by a run.
You're not going to win a lot of games giving that up. That was bad. That's bad.
Yeah, it just has just very, very frustrating.
Well, historically, the last few years has always been the pitching's got to hold up because the batting's there. And I think the pitching is holding up. It is, like you're saying,
the starting pitching
the errors
for sure is holding up
in the field.
Yeah, the fielding. And again, O'Neal Cruz it's been a fun watch, but man, oh man, the mistakes he is making are just killing this team right now. And they're just losing too many of these games that are very winnable. And I mean, it feels like there was a real chance here to surge over these last 2 weeks, and instead they're starting to fade, and just very frustrating. Not unfamiliar territory for those of us that are Pirates fans,
Milwaukee,
but
Chicago,
man, it is frustrating.
And the Cardinals, right? And the Reds.
Yeah.
I mean, the only team that's really, the Cubs have sold out pretty much. They're done. They packed it in for the year. You got Milwaukee in your division.
Yeah.
You think the Cardinals have any kind of run?
More of a run than the Pirates have.
Really?
It looks like right now.
I mean, this time last week, the Mets were, a half a game out of the wild card spot, and now
No, well,
Sorry.
Pirates were right
I
there.
meant the Pirates. Sorry, I said Cardinals, but I meant Pirates. They were Pirates this time last week or 2 weeks ago. They were a half a game out of the wild card.
Yeah, the mistakes they're making right now, though, are just. I mean, they're not making the routine plays, and that's very, very frustrating and very disappointing. Obviously,
The dog days, buddy.
It's brutal.
I had to explain.
Brutal to watch.
I explained the dog days to somebody the other day, and they're like, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard." I said, "Yeah, but it's a good theory, though."
And Team USA now down 13 in the men's basketball.
It's only been 2 points since you're
a minute 11 left in the second quarter, so we'll see.
All right, so what do you got tomorrow, wrestling-wise, Bubba?
They'll have Dake and Snyder in the morning, and then Aaron Brooks will try to come back and get bronze. Spencer Lee will wrestle for gold tomorrow, and then both Zane Rutherford and Mason Paris will begin their tournament on Saturday. Also yesterday, I don't think we mentioned it, but Sarah Hildebrandt, who,
yes.
Her brother Drew wrestled for a year here at Penn State, graduate transfer from Central Michigan, and Drew's sister Sarah won gold yesterday in freestyle wrestling for the U.S. women, and Drew had his moment there on the TV screen, so that was cool. She went over and celebrated with her family, and it has been kind of neat watching some of the wrestling. Roman Bravo Young lost his first round matchup wrestling for Mexico today. Darian Cruz, the former Lehigh champ, was actually had Kerry McCoy in his corner and lost in the first round today as well. Ethan Ramos, former North Carolina wrestler, also lost. All of those wrestlers competed at the NCAA level, and then but are representing countries other than the U.S. Here in the Olympic Games. But kind of fun just watching that stuff. And Sarah Hildebrandt's win was very impressive and fun.
I was
watching
impressed
the
by
celebration.
myself.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because the guy at the end said, yes, her brother is her training partner.
Yeah.
He said Hildebrand. And I said, I remember that name.
Yeah.
And I went and looked it up, and it said Penn State wrestler just for a year. But I was like, I can't believe I remembered that. So
yeah,
you've beat me, Jeff. You beat me. I'm one of you now. I'm one of you guys.
That is welcome to the club. It's a good club.
But it's an honest question. I have to ask you. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Has there talk been of a women's wrestling team here? Speaking of his sister being the Olympic gold.
That's a good. I haven't heard it. I'll put it that way. I think it's. Yeah, and I realize schools are doing it. I think it is a tough environment. Not saying it's not doable, and maybe there is something in the works that I don't know about. But I just think until you see how things are going to settle out here, or if things are going to settle out with intercollegiate sports, it's tough to add programs. And again, I do understand and realize there are a bunch that have done it, including Iowa in the Big Ten. But most of the schools that have added women's wrestling are not like your Power 5 conference schools. It's been smaller schools that are maybe looking for a niche. Now, I think that can change, but I think I'm guessing it's unlikely you'll see much movement in that over the next year or two. Anyway, until we
There's
at least
enough going on
see,
here.
Because I think a lot of schools are really debating whether or not they can fund quote unquote big time programs across the board right now.
Fund all the sports, let alone bring another
That's
sport
what I'm
in.
saying. It's just I think it's not great timing to be
I'm
looking
thinking
to
about
add
that
a
because I
sport.
always tell the story, and that is that we were talking about this earlier, but like football and wrestling, they only have one female comparison, and that is field hockey, because everything else can mirror here at Penn State, all of our sports.
Yeah,
but we have field hockey, which mirrors wrestling. So I never understood the Title IX thing, and then I still don't understand the Title IX thing. Is it here? Is it going? Is it part of the play here that's with this new NIL deal and paying the athletes and players. That's a sticky situation. I mean, by law, right. So we have 105 scholarships for the football team.
Yeah.
And then the wrestlers have 30 now.
Yeah.
Field hockey has 30. We still need to make up 105 female scholarships.
Yeah.
So I never understood. It's like doing the quarterback, blowing up the salary cap. They should be a different cap, in my opinion, where I think football should not be part of that Title IX stuff because there is no equivalent to it in any of the women's sports. I just don't understand. But, I mean, again, I don't want to have Pat Kraft's job because of what's going on with all this different stuff. I got off subject about that the other when I was talking about, we talk about Pat having a horrible job and how his job has changed with the changing dynamic of athletics. And then I was going to say about how James, how the head coach's job in collegiate football, collegiate athletics, is that you are now the head coach. Now you're doing all of this stuff. You're recruiting your team every year. You have to recruit the guys every year. You're now paying them. And I don't know if it was you and I who talked about it, but the Bill O'Brien thing that he talked about going back to Boston College and said the one thing that he hated about the NFL was when they made him the general manager. And he said he had to discuss money with the players. He is the coach. He's their boy. He's their guy. And now I got to say, hey, Jeff, you're not worth $100 million.
Yeah.
You're only worth $32 million. And guess what? That now is our relationship is busted. So that's where our coaches are at right now. So if they're in charge of delving the money at now your relationship with the player is now a business relationship. You no longer have a player-coach relationship, a friend relationship. And that is a changing dynamic because I personally believe that is James's biggest thing is that his relationship with his players. And I know we will talk about it next week when more comes out of it, speaking of his players and the love for him, because 6 months ago, Robert Windsor was a big fan of James Franklin, and then yesterday he comes out with this video. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not seen it.
You know what we're talking about, though?
I do.
So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I don't want to broach that subject until I actually see some stuff that is supposedly coming out. And but again, that is James's relationship with his players is what is his hallmark. That's what he is known for. If you want him to be your head coach, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have players who love him, and that's a relationship that he has with his players. And that's good and bad, but that's his thing. So he just goes with it. So now he's at the point now where he's going to delve out money, and he has to make decisions of who gets more money and who doesn't. But you must like him more than me, or something like that. And are we paying running backs as much as we're going to pay quarterbacks? Are we going to play left tackles as much as to play a right guard? It is just everything is just so freaking far out there and spread around and just so unknown. It's insane to think about.
It is.
And then, can you give me? I guess Kale hasn't been around to even talk to you because he's been in Paris. But are these wrestling teams going to use all 30?
That's a good question. I don't know. It is such a drastic jump.
It's amazing. It's a
for years we were pushing to try to get 12 or ideally even 15.
19.
And now they're going to 30. So you go from not having enough scholarship money to field a starter at each of the 10 weight classes to now, numbers wise, being able to go 3 deep at each weight class and with scholarship athletes. But the other thing of that, limiting the roster to 30 is, it's certainly doable, but I don't think that is a great thing for the sport. And I think it takes away a little bit from what I think college sports should be about, which, to go back to what we were talking about, like there are guys that Penn State gets in that wrestling room that they know darn well are not going to be national champions, but they are guys that are going to get the most out of their ability. They work their tails off. They are great workout partners, and they take great pride in being a part of this program. And you need those guys. And I'm not saying you can't get that or have that with scholarship athletes only. But I think there is something special about knowing that there are some guys that are willing to bust their tails like that, not getting the scholarship money. And, and now, I mean, not only is everybody going to get scholarship money, everybody in that room, I'm presuming, will get some compensation. And
now they're getting a ride.
And NIL deals. Now, again, not everybody's going to be getting the same deals there, but I don't know. It's going to be.
I had a thought.
It's such a different world, and yeah, I don't know what the thoughts are of any of the coaches. I mean, all of these sports are going to be.
There's decisions to be made.
Yeah, changing up. So
going forward, it's going to be crazy. But there's also you're talking about the guys who know they're not going to want to be All-Americans. They like to wrestle maybe on the varsity 1 year and stuff like that. But you know who those guys are? They're the guys 20 years from now who are super, super successful in life because they know what they needed to do in their life. They didn't have bloated aspirations. They had what they needed to do, and they're successful here and in life. You got to appreciate that. Yeah. Every team needs to have them. I mean, but just like now, I have another theory that's a little weird. It's like why is you getting a scholarship not on counting against NIL? If you're an out-of-state guy wrestling at Penn State, that's a $74,000 to $80,000 scholarship a year. Is that not enough NIL money for you? I understand that there's money out there, and there's lots of money out there. But, I mean, even with the football players, you have 105 football players. I think that the money should start after your scholarship has been paid. That's just how I feel. It's like, they get a scholarship and this and that. But we get that now.
Yeah.
And then they're going to, like you said, those guys who's number 29 on the wrestling program, he's going to expect the money because he's part of the NIL and there's money coming in and stuff like that. But is he getting as much money as the number 3 guy? No. So you're going to have animosity there. I don't know their place.
I am really curious to see how this does play out.
I'm perplexed.
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if now. For a long time, women's basketball programs, by and large, and Penn State in particular, was not filling out their full scholarship allotments because I had a long conversation with Rini about it the one day because it was on air. We were talking about Title IX, and I'm like, well, but you have more scholarships than you need. She's like, oh yeah, we do. We have I forget if it was 14 or 15, and we only use 11 or 12 of them because
for women. Because I know she had guys on her team that they had scholarships.
No. This is for the team for the scholarships for the Lady Line basketball. And so that's a good question as to, will any of these teams use all of those scholarships that are available? I don't know.
I really don't think that they do. I think that it's such an extreme thing that, so you're going to tell me that Kale is going to say, okay, we got to get 30 guys now. We have 30 scholarships, and he's locked into those 30, correct? I mean, are they doing the whole 1 year scholarship thing type of thing, and then they could change next year?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, there's with the transfer portal and with everything else. That's gonna
just another good way to end our week and have these thoughts and questions in our head and keep me up at night, Ironhead.
Oh boy,
it's good though. It's the Phillies are on the West Coast, so.
Well, enjoy the Olympics. We'll see if Aaron Brooks can come back and take bronze. We'll see how the other teams do. We'll see if the Pirates can get back on a winning track. We'll see if USA Basketball can come back and beat Serbia. And we'll talk about all of that and more next Tuesday when we return to the airwaves here locally at Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. Until Tuesday, we would ask all of you to please be good